Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, in the aftermath of the Errol Spence Dennis Ugas fight, in which Errol Spence delivered arguably, in my opinion, the best performance of his career, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that I dissect. There's a lot of layers to peel back. And I wanted to start with, your main man, Oscar De La Hoya, the golden boy. Now, I didn't interact with him when I saw him, but I had a chance to see what he's like, kind of like behind the scenes a little bit when I went to the Ryan Garcia media workout. I've always had the utmost respect for Oscar De La Hoya. He's a 6th division champion. He's a legend of the sport. I actually think people are very unappreciative of him as a fighter and even to a degree as a promoter, but that's another topic for another video. I wanted to address Oscar De La Hoya because after Errol Spence won, he came out with this tweet and he said, "Imagine if Al Heyman lets Errol Spence Jr. fight Vergil Ortiz in ice stadium at Cowboy Stadium or in Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium." Now, there's a lot of things to unpack, so let's start with the obvious. Neither Errol Spence isn't a golden boy fighter, and Vergil Ortiz is good, but people don't really care about anything else other than Crawford and Spence. Crawford and Spence has been marinated for so long. It's truthfully one of the defining fights of this generation. So people want to see this fight. They want to know, who is the better of those two fighters, because they've both been number 1 and number 2 for a long time in the welterweight division. And that's just what it is. That's what it is. Now, on the other side, when we talk about Vergil Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz, from what Bernard Hopkins said and a lot of reports, they said his condition is so bad that he may have to move up to 154, his next fight and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say it like this. If Vergil Ortiz fights anybody at 147 besides Michael McKinson, it may sound foolish, it may sound funny. You guys may think, well, we don't want to see the McKinson fight. It doesn't matter. It's about doing what's right, fair, and just. And if Oscar De La Hoya schedules a fight for Vergil Ortiz next that is not against Michael McKinson, then I'm considering it a clear duck of Michael McKinson. So forget about Errol Spence, because now the first time Vergil signs a contract to fight undefeated southpaw, someone who's as young and as hungry as him for the first time in his career, all of a sudden he has a condition. All of a sudden he has to move to 154. So I'm not saying that there might not be a condition. I'm just saying if Vergil Ortiz continues to fight on 147 in his next fight and it is not against Michael McKinson, it is a duck, whether you like it or not. And yeah, so that's just what it is. We want to see Crawford, we want to see Spence, especially next. I don't think this is a situation where you could make it a fight where Crawford takes a little interim warm-up fight, Spence does the same thing. No. You had Crawford in his last fight who fought a very game and very formidable, always game, dangerous and formidable, former welterweight champion, Showtime Sean Porter. And he did something that Errol Spence could not do, which was stop Showtime Sean Porter and send him packing into retirement. As far as Spence, his last fight, as we all know, he fought your Dennis Ugas, a guy that's been in there with so many good fighters and fantastic fighters and names, and had even suffered multiple losses in his career. But in all those losses, nobody had ever stopped him and beat him up the way Errol Spence did. Factor in that you can make a case that performance was even better than when he fought Sean Porter. It was even better than when he fought Kell Brook, because from round 3 or 4 on, it was just complete domination. The way Errol Spence Jr. was in that pocket, placing the shots, pivoting off the shots. I mean this in the most complimentary way possible. He looked like a bootleg Cholatito, and I mean that in a great way, because you guys know how highly I think of Cholatito. Errol thinks highly of Cholatito. It's a favorite of his as far as the fight is fighting now. So you can kind of see that in his style a little bit. But getting back to De La Hoya, Vergil Ortiz needs to go fight Michael McKinson because he signed a contract to fight him, and for whatever the case may be, he didn't wind up fighting him. I think you got to take care of that and be a man of your word. Secondly, he's trying to stick his hands in the Errol Spence, Terence Crawford cookie jar, because he also talked about wanting to manage Crawford and things like that and get the fight done. And, you know, my thing is this. Neither Crawford nor Spence is his business as a promoter, and I respect him as a promoter. I respect him greatly as a fighter. I truly do value Oscar De La Hoya. But, you know, they're not your business. But you know who is your business? All right, your business, Oscar, isn't them, all right? Your business is fighters that you have signed to your company, such as Vergil Ortiz, such as Seniesa Superbad Estrada, you know, one of the best fighters in the world, male or female. You know, one of the 5 fighters or less in boxing that can knock you out as an orthodox, knock you out as a southpaw, right? Ain't too many fighters that can do what she can do, male or female, all right? And she came out recently, as I made a video about already. She was disgruntled with, you know, Oscar and Golden Boy, and she's just been very down about the situation, and she just wants to get back to doing what she loves, what her passion is, what she was born to do, which is fight. You can't really say many fighters in boxing were born to fight. She's one of the few fighters in boxing I can say was born to fight. And she came out and she's voiced her displeasure with Oscar De La Hoya. So I feel like he's put more energy into the things that he can control within his company, rather than worrying about a fight between 2 fighters that he has no affiliation to right now, you know? So that's what it is. Errol Spence Jr. told Oscar De La Hoya as well, and I forgot this part as well because I was rambling, but Errol Spence Jr. did tell him as well that imagine if I said no, I'm only interested in one fight, and he's not with you. So Errol Spence is even telling Oscar direct, being very, very direct, saying, look, the only fight I want is a guy that you don't promote. So leave me be. Let me alone. Let me be great. See, that's a problem with boxing, these promoters. They don't want to let these fighters be great. They're always trying to, you know, be selfish and inject their personal financial agendas. No. Sit back. Enjoy the show. Vergil can go fight Michael McKinson like he was supposed to do on March 19th. Focus on, you know, coming to a compromise with Seniesa Estrada, who is one of the best fighters you have signed to your company. And go from there. But don't worry about what Crawford and Spence got going on, because it doesn't concern you, Oscar. And you know, good on Spence. Good on the truth for speaking the truth, because truthfully speaking, we don't give a shit about no Vergil Ortiz versus Crawford, and we don't give a shit about no Vergil Ortiz versus Spence. We want Crawford and Spence. We want Spence and Crawford. Make it happen. Get Crawford what he needs, get Spence what he needs, and come to an agreement. That's where I'm at right now, and that's why I'm sure a lot of box fans are at. But that's the news, man. Oscar De La Hoya trying to just make the boxing world pivot from what it's supposed to do, which is make the Crawford versus Spence fight. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you guys can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here. Boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.